Man, this quote, it probably hits a little too close to home for a lot of you. It's that classic dilemma. Leadership wants the comfort and safety of a fixed plan, but the market, well, it demands the speed of Agile. And when you try to make a single team serve both of those masters, it doesn't just feel wrong, it is wrong. We actually worked with a manager who told us his team was so burned out from this exact scenario that his top two engineers quit in the same week. It's the perfect recipe for burnout and failure. But there is a way out.
So look, whether you're a team lead trying to protect your people, or you're a project manager juggling these impossible demands, or maybe you're a developer who's just trying to get some code written, we're going to give you the clarity you've been looking for. And to help you take action like right now, we've put together a free Agile starter kit for you. It's got templates, guides, all the good stuff. The link for that is right down below in the description. Okay, let's get to the real root of this problem.
All right, so to understand why this whole hybrid thing fails so spectacularly, we have to get to the core of the issue. It's not about which methodology is better. It's about understanding that at their very core, they're just incompatible. Think of them like oil and water. This slide really boils it all down to one thing. They have completely opposite goals. Waterfall is optimized for one thing and one thing only: predictability. It's all about heavy, upfront planning to make sure there are no surprises down the line. It's built to answer the question, what exactly will we get and when will we get it? Agile, on the other hand, is all about speed and adaptability. It answers a totally different question. What is the most valuable thing we can build right now? One is all about control, the other is all about response. They're just fundamentally in tension with each other.
And this image, it just captures the problem perfectly. I want you to imagine pouring Waterfall and Agile into the same beaker. Waterfall, with all its dense, heavy, upfront planning, it's just going to sink right to the bottom. And Agile, with its light, fast sprints, is going to float right on top. Now, you can shake that beaker all you want, and that's pretty much what hybrid teams do every single day, just constantly context switching. But the second you stop, they're going to separate again. They just can't be blended into one smooth, cohesive process. It's not possible.
So what happens when you keep shaking that beaker? You get chaos. That's what you get. Projects stall because your team is constantly switching between a planning mindset and an execution mindset. You get friction because half the team thinks they should be documenting everything, while the other half thinks they should be coding. You end up with the absolute worst of both worlds. You're not truly predictable, and you are definitely not fast. It's just wasted effort, and it leads to frustrated teams and really disappointed stakeholders. Okay, so if trying to mix them together is the problem, what's the solution? Well, it's not about finding some magical blend. It's about creating a smart connection. It's a really simple but powerful idea we call the interface rule.
All right, listen up, because this is probably the most important takeaway from this whole explainer. The mistake isn't using both Waterfall and Agile in the same company. The huge mistake is forcing the same team to operate under two completely conflicting sets of rules. The interface rule is simple. You have to keep them separate. Let a Waterfall team be great at being a Waterfall team. Let an Agile team be great at being an Agile team. The magic doesn't happen by mixing them. It happens by defining a clean, clear handoff point between them.
You know, think of it like an assembly line in a factory. The team that designs the car engine doesn't also install the seats, right? They're specialists. They do their job, they perfect their part of the process, and then there's a clean handoff to the next specialized team. The exact same principle applies here. You need a team that specializes in predictability and planning, and you need another team that specializes in rapid execution and iteration. The key is to perfect that connection point, not to merge their jobs into one big, confusing mess.
Okay, so what does this actually look like in the real world? How do you build this better handoff and stop the chaos for good? Let's walk through what the ideal structure really looks like.
So here's the flow you're aiming for. First, you've got your Waterfall team. They handle the big fixed pieces of the puzzle. You know, things with really long lead times like hardware procurement or building out a data center or signing major contracts. They create that predictable plan. Second, you have the interface. And this isn't just sending an email. This is a clean, well-defined handoff of finalized requirements and dependencies. And finally, the Agile team takes that package of work and just runs with it. They develop the software in fast, iterative sprints, and they have the freedom to adapt and innovate within that scope.
And this is the result. You actually get what your boss was asking for in that quote from the beginning. You get predictability and you get speed. We heard from a project lead at a fintech company who put this into practice. She told us the interface rule was a total game changer. Our planning team gave leadership a reliable hardware delivery date, and my dev team finally had the freedom to just build the software on top of it. We cut our time to market by 3 months, and honestly, everyone is just happier.
So understanding this rule is the first big step, but actually implementing it is the next. If you're ready to stop the chaos and start building this clear, effective workflow for your teams, our workshop is the perfect place to start. We go really deep on designing these interfaces specifically for your situation. The link to join is right there in the description below.
So, we'll leave you with this question to chew on. Take this back to your team and ask yourselves, where is the interface in our organization? Is it a clean handoff, or is it a messy collision? And if it doesn't really exist yet, what's the very first step you can take to build one? Thanks so much for watching.